Steven Universe and all associated images are property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and any and all other respective owners. I don't know them all. All footage in this video has been used for the purpose of critique parody under fair use. Please support the official release. Okay, so first of all, please excuse the sound of rain that will undoubtedly be in the background of this video. It is raining pretty heavily outside my house, and I thought it had stopped, but apparently it hasn't. And of course, if somehow you don't hear it, just disregard all that. Also, just a bit of fair warning, this is going to be a bit simpler than my last couple of theories because, let's face it, those last couple of theories were a little complex. I need a little bit of a break. Moving right into the core video itself, the majority of the Steven Universe fanbase believes that Steven will at some point be able to figure out how to cure corrupted gems and return them, if not entirely to normal, then most of the way to normal, to the point that they're able to think and speak and live their lives to the same degree that they were able to before they were corrupted. I am in that majority. I think that a huge chunk of the narrative up to this point has been leading to that point, that it is an inevitability. So whether or not that's going to happen is not what this video is about. Instead, I'd like to answer a question that a lot of you guys have been asking me lately. Which gem do I think Steven is going to uncorrupt first? The primary candidates are, of course, Centipedal and Jasper. Centipedal because she's been directly tied into the entire corruption narrative up to this point, even so far that she was the one who told us, and Steven as well at the same point, what the source of corruption was, that being the three remaining diamonds, white diamond, yellow diamond, and blue diamond. And Jasper because she is a recurring character who is right in the middle of some very clear development which was cut off by her becoming corrupted, and it would only make sense for her to be uncorrupted relatively early compared to other gems. What I'm going to be doing in this video is going over the evidence for the Jasper side of things and for the Centipedal side of things, and concluding with which one I think is most likely and why. Let's start with Jasper first. As I mentioned, Jasper was a character who was undergoing character development at the time of her corruption. Trapped on Earth alone, she was fighting for herself as much as she was for her diamond. In fact, she wasn't even fighting for her current diamond at all. She was fighting to avenge her original diamond, Pink Diamond, believing Steven to be Rose Quartz, to be his mother, the gem who either killed Pink Diamond or is thought to have killed Pink Diamond by all of Homeworld. Jasper made it her mission to oppose Steven on what she saw as equal ground and defeat him in Pink Diamond's name. She named herself Steven's antagonist, his nemesis, and therefore she has a pre-existing relationship with Steven just like Centipedal does. Not to mention the rivalries that she's built up between herself and Garnet, Smoky Quartz, and Stavani. She has an entire history to resolve with Lapis Lazuli, not to mention the fact that she seems to be something of a favorite not only amongst fans but amongst the crew themselves, and it has been announced that she's going to be returning to the show relatively soon. But I still think that Centipedal is the more likely candidate. I mentioned before that Centipedal has been involved in the entire corruption narrative, and I meant that literally. Centipedal was our introduction to corrupted gems in the very first episode, and Centipedal was the very first corrupted gem that Steven ever interacted with in a way that wasn't violent. Within days of first making an attempt to interact with Centipedal on friendly terms, Steven helped her to heal. Even if it didn't last, that was an important step forward, and it created a bond between the two of them. Assuming that Steven's ability to heal corrupted gems is in any way similar to his ability to heal other things, a bond would have to be there, and I just don't think he has that kind of bond with Jasper. He may care about changing Jasper back. He may see Jasper's situation as something tragic. He may want to prove to her that he's not his mother. He may have all these interactions that he wants to have with Jasper, but he doesn't have a bond with her. Centipedal was the first gem that he ever attempted to cure. And while Jasper did get a big exposition moment about the diamonds, so did Centipedal. I mentioned before that she's the one who revealed that it was the diamonds who caused corruption, which is not only a big plot-relevant reveal, but it's one specifically associated with corruption, tying into the entire corruption narrative. Centipedal is also very popular amongst fans of the show and has been for a very long time now. And while she doesn't have rivalries and histories with the other gem characters, at least none that we know of, we do know that she opposed them in the war, that she was a pilot for Homeworld. I can only imagine the interactions that she might have with the remnants of the crystal gems and the mysteries that she might be able to solve, the stories about the war that she might be able to tell. As much as I think the crew wants to further Jasper's development, as much as I think they're going to, revealing more about the war and about war times is incredibly important. It's something that they've put off for a long time now. I think it's very likely that Centipedal may be the mouthpiece for that exposition that I feel is going to come. It just makes a lot of sense to me that the first corrupted gem ever shown in the show would be the first corrupted gem to be shown uncorrupted. Completely uncorrupted, not the half uncorrupted state that we saw before. I also can't help but imagine that once Steven thinks he's armed with the ability to heal corrupted gems, that Centipedal is going to be the first gem he thinks of. For the reasons I've mentioned already, that he has been working with her on this for so long already. It just makes sense that it would make sense to him. And it's not as if by saying this I'm saying that Jasper won't be uncorrupted. I definitely think she's going to be very shortly after Centipedal is herself. But the entire structure of Centipedal's narrative up to this point, everything about her development, and the way that it has crisscrossed with the whole corruption narrative gives her a bit of an edge in my mind. I mean, it even makes a little bit of sense right now, the way things are in the show right now, that there might be a priority to uncorrupt a potentially sympathetic gem pilot, you know, with Lars being trapped on a distant planet and everything. Actually, disregard that. I just finished watching the San Diego Comic-Con footage featuring Lars, and I no longer think he's going to need much help from the crystal gems to get himself home. It was a good point while it lasted. But anyway, yeah, that's why I think it's going to be Centipedal. That's why I think it's going to be Centipedal, who is the first gem that we ever see fully uncorrupted, and that Jasper is going to be a close second. And if it makes all you Jasper fans feel better, I do think that Jasper is probably going to get more character development than Centipedal after she's uncorrupted, so there is that. And all of that said, guys, who do you think is going to be uncorrupted first? Jasper, Centipedal, or someone else entirely? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.